Hey guys, and welcome back to this week's update on my 30-gallon mixed reef aquarium. And I've got a lot to talk about. I've had reduced livestock and added livestock. So I'm going to start off with the reduced livestock bit. I had a bit of an issue with the tank, well, with one of the fish actually. It's the firefish, it's the fire goby. It's kind of got like an orange back and then a white kind of head area. Unfortunately, that has died. I think it's from it's like an Aptasia solution. It's like Aptasia X, but it's a slightly different brand. And yeah, I used that to try and get rid of some of my Aptasias in the tank. And I think I put too much in the tank, and it was kind of like sucking up all the oxygen in the tank, or something happened. All the other fish in the coral were fine, but I think it was just that kind of had a bit of a reaction to it. So unfortunately, that died. It was about 3 days ago today, actually. I think, or maybe 2 days ago, and it was quite old anyway. They only live for about 3 or 4 years, and it must have been at least two. And I have had it for 4 months, and it was only cheap as well, so it's not like I lost a ton. So I probably wouldn't get another one because they're out probably maybe 40% of the time, but I'd rather get a RAS instead of it that's going to be out like 90% of the time. So unfortunately that's died, but yeah, it happens. It's probably the first thing I've ever lost actually in Reef, and was all the bits of coral that I've kept. I've never lost anything. Same thing with fish as well. I've never lost a fish before, so it's my first fish that's actually died. But everyone gets it, so it's you know, it's all normal. So added livestock. Let's talk about something a little bit more positive now. I do have not more fish, nothing for this week. I am still on the hunt for some more wrasse, but I do have some coral actually. So some Montipora. So if we look down here, this is purple plating Montipora. It's a really nice colour. Something a little bit different kind of colour than what I usually got in here. It is much more purple than what it does look like on camera, and in the flesh it does look much more purple. But yeah, it's got some really nice colours. It's good size, and it wasn't that much. It wasn't that expensive either. I spent £25 on this, I think, which isn't too bad. I expected more, to be honest. And I also got some more plating Montipora. Actually, there's 3 different bits. So there's a bit down here. This is green plating Montipora in the really high blues. This is, to be honest, this is probably the most luminous coral I've ever seen. It's really, I mean, it's really bright. It completely brightens the tank up. So there's a bit up there wobbling a little bit, and there's a bit up there. Again, I got this for £25. Well, it was all one bit, but I've given some to my dad as well. He's also got a little bit of purple in his as well, and a bit of red that came with the purple for 25 as well. So I got some extra red as well, but I did give that to my dad as well, because since I've got like a massive red bit here that's really starting to play out and do well, and he hasn't got any. So yeah, so I broke these 2 bits off of this bit, because this bit has got a bit of stripping. So it's got a little bit of white patch on there, and on this one, so you can see on the edge, you can see right there, it's got a little bit of white stripping, maybe RTN on the edge there. So I don't want that spreading all the way throughout the plate. So the best thing to do is really just to snap this bit off. So that bit there is completely 100% clean, so it should do well. And so we'll see how it goes for the first week. See if we see any stripping on it. We probably won't. And then if not, then I'll get to gluing it. I've glued this one because that's a good spot for it there. I don't like my plating corals, well, mainly plating Montipora, too high up, because let's say I had it like up here, then it would start plating out, and then it starts shading everything down here. But if you put them really nice and low, like to the sandbed area, then there's nothing for them to really shade, is there? So same thing with the red. I put that there. It's been there for a while. Probably do the same with the green one. I might put it under here somewhere, or on this bit there. Not really too sure yet. Maybe on this rock somewhere. But they can grow quick. Once they start, they really do take off. This is really starting to grow. So you can see it's really took off on the rock there, and underneath it's starting a little bit of plate. So that's doing really well. So this has got no stripping on it whatsoever. So yeah, let's hope they do well. And actually, no, more added livestock as well. It's not just coral. There's a new shrimp in the, actually no, there's 2 new shrimp in the tank. So as I keep on going on with recently is Aptasias. I've got a bit of an issue with that. About few days ago I had about maybe 30 of them, at least 30 Aptasias kicking around, but I got this new solution. Hold on, let me just get it. So here it is. It's NT Labs, which is a company that isn't massively huge, but they do a lot of freshwater solutions such as like tap safe or filter starter, that kind of stuff. But I found this. It's actually cheaper than Aptasia Rex, which is what I was using. And you do get more in a bottle, so basically it's going to last a lot longer as well. And what I did, I got loads of syringes, and you just kind of just pump them. You can either inject them, or you can just kind of put them into the mouth and let them consume it, like eat it, and then it will just melt them from the inside, like kind of burn them all up. Either way, I got great success. With Aptasia Rex, about you hit every single Aptasia you hit, from my experience, it gets rid of like 80 to 80, maybe 80 to 90% of them. It kills. But with this stuff, not one of them has come back. 100%, 10 out of 10. They've all gone away. Well, there's still some that I've missed. I haven't got. There's some like really stuck at the back of the tank, which I can't really get. But that's why I added the 2 peppermint shrimps, which, by the way, rip off. Okay, £18 each. That's stupid. Went to another shop as well, £18 each. Another shop, £19 each. They're very, very expensive. If they were a fiver, then I'd get like 10 of them, and they'll easily mop up the place. But you know, they're really, really expensive. So 2 of them, they'll probably help out with the little ones. I will do a separate video actually, maybe next week, on Aptasias and all the different methods that you can use to get rid of them, all the different fish you can do, the little bugs you can get, all the invertebrates, the solutions you can use. So that will probably be next week's update, well, video. So I do really recommend you get this stuff. Again, to be honest, I'd wait until next video when I do a video on Aptasias and all the solutions to get rid of them. So I'd wait for that and to see what kind of options you've got. I could have got a file fish that would have probably killed him, but I mean, my dad had one and it started pecking on all of his like LPS and soft corals. So Reef's safe. It's kind of like angelfish. Kind of got like a 50-50 shot. Maybe like a 60. Well, you probably got about 60% chance them being Reef safe if they were small, like really babies. But they might not eat as much then. So I don't really want to risk that. Plus, they're not really a massively colourful and nice fish. I don't really like them. They're not out all the time as well. They're about maybe 50% at a time. I'm just really not a fan of file fish as well. So really don't want to go down that route. So I'm kind of left with solutions or peppermint shrimp. So I kind of just tried both. If you guys have had or do have a peppermint shrimp in your tank currently, then you'll know that they hide away a lot of the time. One of them is underneath this rock here, and then another one is underneath this kind of where that Postlepora is, right underneath this rock here somewhere. And then obviously the blood red fire shrimp, which I've had since day one, actually for maybe over a year. Had him in the little nano tank, and I kind of transferred him over. Doesn't eat a whole lot, but he does come out on the sand bed for the food. He kind of just chills out in that little corner. So I really, really like these shrimp. And following off from last week's video, which was on the Red Sea AB Plus coral food, it's still continuing to get really good results. This has really pumped up since I've been doing this. It's really been expanded. ACAN is starting to grow. This has really like expanded out. Polyps are really good on this. This is about the same, I think. Zoas have come out more. These are really like, they just look really nice and healthy. The blue digi looks good. Tracky's recovering from being fully bleached, even though it's not even my coral. It's just in here temporarily to kind of heal itself. Aquaporas are really starting to come out. You guys can finally see the polyps on here. Still, it's a little bit brown out, but it's still got you can see a little bit of green on it, which is really nice. It's starting to really recover. That's the same thing with the bottom one down there. They're both kind of kicked off at the same time, doing really, really, really well. Postlepora, it did glue there. I think it's a pretty good spot for it. It was up there, but I don't really need. It doesn't need to be getting a ton of light. But there it's probably about medium, about maybe 48% high up in the tank. So it's probably getting about 250 to 300 part. Anything over like 180, to be honest, for a Pastapora is pretty good. So it's definitely get more than enough light. The colour is, so you can see a few of them. So you see right in the middle of the screen that little pink tip. That's what it will have. They're all going to start erupting even more once it starts growing, but eventually it will get to really nice pink tips. Green Hystrix is doing really well, really growing in the middle there. So that will eventually become a nice big ball of green in there, which looks really nice. What else? We've got Elkhorn growing, splitting, kind of, let me get close up. It's kind of just starting to split up some branches as well. Its polyps are really out. Yeah, it's getting a little bit suffocated at the bottom by some hair algae, but I am continuing to dose every 3 days, or every Friday and Monday, Vibrant, which is a solution that just within a month usually mops up any type of algae, bubble algae, hair algae, macroalgae, apart from coralline algae, everything else it kills, which is great. So I think I'm about 2 or 3 weeks in, so it's already starting to kick in. I don't have to clean the glass as much because, you know, the algae film you get on the glass, I don't get that as much now. I only have to clean my glass every like week or so, maybe 5 days. But that's doing really, really well. What else have we got in here? I think that's about it. Everything's doing well. Oh, pulse coral, really fluffy, really growing. Doing really, really well. Got really nice colour. It doesn't look like it on camera, but in the flesh, trust me, it's a really, really nice pink colour. So everything, since the AB+, everything has really improved. Pink Hystrix, the new bit that bleached out a little bit, only because it was resting on one of these acros when I first put it in, and it kind of like killed it a little bit. But you can see it's a little bit brown there. That's the bit that died, but it's really starting to cover. So yeah, I'm going to continue to be dosing in AB+ every day. I do 4 mil, I think, pretty sure 4 mil of that stuff every day, in between like 11 and 12 o'clock, about midday-ish, when all the corals are out and happy to feed. And one last thing to end off the video is Doser is rigged up finally, 6 months in, and well, I think we're about maybe 5 or 6, going into the 6th month. Finally, the Doser is rigged up. Had this thing sitting. Where's the light switch? There it is. Here it is. TMC Doser rigged up onto a really old. They don't even make these anymore, I don't think. Blue marine. Well, it's actually an RO top-off container, but you can also use it for a Doser. It's a really nice cylinder shape. All works fine. It's only my 2nd day of dosing. I'm doing 6 mil a day. Well, I've only just put it up to 6 mil. It was 4 mil a day yesterday. Tested it today. Alkalinity is still at 8.9. So it's kept it steady. So I'm going to put it up by a little bit, by 2 mil, just to keep it, just to raise it up a little bit, because I want to keep it about 9.5, in between 9 and 10, is kind of fine. Around the 9.5 area is good. RO top off, still working all right. I've topped it off a little bit more. This is again, because I haven't really got time for this week, I will do a separate video all on dosing, what I'm dosing, how much, and what levels I want to be keeping it at. But I'm dosing this all for Reef. Again, yeah, we'll do a video on that when I can. Not next week's, but maybe the one after. Got lots of stuff to do. Whenever I get the time, I'll get that, probably by the end of the month. So yeah, sorry, apologies for the quite long video, just a lot to cover. I'll see you next week with probably an Aptasia video. So if you've got an issue with that, hit the notification bell so you can get a notification for that video when that comes out. And I'll see you next week then. Bye.